Welcome to the Art Appreciation class. Before we formally start, I will present to you the objectives. At the end of the lesson, students can able to identify the characteristic of arts in Cordillera region and Muslim South, can create different artworks found in the specific area of the Philippines, and can write a composition expressing their thoughts and how they can promote and preserve the arts in their respective locality for the next generation. Let's make some drill. Look at the map for 5 seconds. Then answer the following question. If you got a chance to visit other area of the Philippines, where would you go and why? And what is your expectation in that place, region, the people, or their arts and crafts? Now, let's sing together the song entitled Salidumay. Thank you for your participation. Now let's move on into your first activity. And the instruction is, assemble these puzzles into its perfect images. Are you ready? Go! Bravo! You got it right. Wonderful! Amazing! Great job! Thank you for your participation. I know that you have an idea of our topic today, but still, you wonder many things from your activity. So, fasten your virtual seatbelts as we explore the arts of Cordillera region and Muslim South. The arts of Cordillera region and Muslim South. Now, let's talk about first the arts in the Cordillera region. The people of Cordillera is comprised of the Isnik, Kalinga, Bontok, Ibaloy, and Kankanay. And what make them as people or define them as people is their ingenuity and persistence in transforming raw materials into a works of art. And just like many other places, wood is the raw material of the people of the Cordillera region, especially in manufacturing artistic shields, decorative contains, home utensils, figurines, and religious images. Cordilleran art can be divided into 2 types, the decorative and the ritualistic or magical. For decorative, these are shields, containers, pipes, and fabric designs. So shields, it is for their soldiers. Containers, it is for keeping their food or any objects, small objects. And pipes it is for their instruments of music. And fabric designs, it is for their clothings or blankets, just like that. There are types of blankets. First is the gamon. It is used for the dead and it has several designs. it usually cover on the dead body. Then second is the hape. It is for wealthy or for rich people and usually worn by the young. Lastly is the kintog. It is formerly used to exchange for pigs or a barter system, but now known as uban and used for carrying babies. So I'm familiar with uban. I saw it in my aunt's house. It is very unique cloth and very artistic. As you can see in the picture, this is an Ifugao couple. So the elaborate headdress and G-string of the man and the heavy necklace of the heirloom beads of the woman typify the traditional Ifugao of the early 20th century. Somehow it is a fashion for beautifying themselves, and just like us today, we have a necklace, a pair of earrings, and we also have hairbands. Second type of a Cordilleran art is the ritualistic or magical. It is for religious images or their spiritual beliefs. So an example is the bulul or the Ifugao rice god. It is carved human figurine into which a certain class of anito. It is said to incorporate itself when worship. So they worship the abulul or the rice god. Next is the Ifugao priest or mambaki. Baptizing and recognizing abulul paired with the blood of sacrifice pigs as feature of annual harvest time rituals and festivities. One of the priests, or they called it a mambaki in their language, pours blood from the coconut shell cup which has removed from its keeping place in a ceremonial box. Or Cordillera region art, especially in wood carving, is characterized as highly representational of human and animal form. So for portrayal of human form is profusely illustrated in various postures and degrees of abstraction, such as standing, squatting, or with arms straight or crossed, and this portrayal is mainly in Bantok, Ifugao, and Ibuloy. While the portrayal of animal motifs is widespread in wood carving, blankets, design, and bamboo incisions such as reptiles, maybe pigs, and plant motifs. In the Cordilleran art, you can see a non-figurative art in the shapes and designed on shields, spears, and head axes. So this object makes effective use of the element of rhythm and symmetry or the pattern. Their adoration in gods and supernatural beings were expressed through the ritual and art of the Cordillera in general. So the high artistic quality of the region wood crafts, showing both human and animal motifs, is characteristic of the area. So much for that. The social demands for their wood crafts serves as an opportunity for the artists to display their carving skills and technique. For Cordilleran instruments, so first is the pasing, a two-stringed instrument of apayao. Then the taliling, a nose float. So have you familiar with the nose float in Bohol? Then dewas, a construction of a thin bamboo pipes of different lengths tied together. As you can see, it's very unique. Yeah. Then the sulibao, a hand drum that has a long body that resembles a bamboo stick. As you can observe, their musical instruments are made up of wood because at their time they don't have any access of materials in making those instruments that we have today. In the next slide, you can see an Ifugao house. So it is constructed in a manner that assures their protection from a low temperature and rains. So it is a typical bahay kubo made up of nipa, wood, or even a bamboo. So moving on, the arts in Muslim South. The Muslim South, where the minority Muslim population is concentrated as about 9 ethnic linguistic groups. So there are so many, namely the Tausog, Maranao, Maguindanao, Samal, Yakan, Sangil, Bajau, Mulbog, Jama, Mapon. So the predominant materials in Muslim art are wood, brass, and cloth. So just like the Cordilleran art, they also have a wood. But no less important are silver, gold, iron, horn, ivory, leather, bamboo, and materials. As described, so Muslim art is quite expensive than the Cordilleran art because they have silver, gold, just like a very expensive materials. So the Muslim okil or wood carving is best represented by brasswork, and where one sees rare blending of aesthetic and utilitarian and social purposes. So as what you have seen in the picture, so that is the ochre, or a design or a pattern often rendered or carved in hard wood, brass, silver, and wall painting in curvilinear lines and Arabic geometric features. So they are adopting the Arabic geometric features. So iba talaga ang Muslim. The next in the picture is the Maranao brass art, an example of kabo and gadwa. It is a jar-like containers with covers. It's very different to our container today. So I know you are familiar with it. It is known as takore in Bohol. For the Muslim art, it is called a kindi, or an ornamented teapot. Next is the salapa and butuan. So both associated with bitil, not chewing. Next is a talam, a very gorgeous tray used as modern tabletop. So I think this is a tray for fruits and delicacies during their time. Next is gadur, a giant wooden jar and wood chest carved with tipay, a material intricately engraved around gadur and baur in the traditional pattern visible to Maranao art decors. So it's very artistic. The next is the famous sarimanok. So it is unmistakably fall-like in form. A fish invariably is associated with hanging from a brick and held in the claw, or serving as base, or serving as a base from the sarimanok. So sarimanok has different colors and different designs too. So Muslim Filipinos are known as brave and freedom-loving people, and they made a sort of weapons, and these weapons are invariably dignified and softened by artistic effects. So just like a barong and kampilan. Muslim carving is highly skilled, well-developed, and gilded-based art. Muslim artists are very particular in their choice of wood for carving, especially in carving weapon handles. The carving artists do not usually follow a written design or a blueprints. They carve directly from the mental image or template of a form to fit the raw material being worked on, and evident that they are very creative people. Although non-figurative art is predominant among Muslim Filipinos, there are a number of notable figurative types found among them. And the most obvious is what you have guessed. Yes, it is a Maranao sarimanok, where both bird and fish representation are clearly depicted. So aside from their wood carving, the weapons, they also have an instrument for music. First is the bakan. So this is a percussion instrument with a single-headed drum, a drum-like instrument. So next is kubing. It is a type of jaw harp made from a hand-carved piece of bamboo. So as you can see in the picture, it is you can depict that it is a bamboo because of the artistic design of it, the creativity. So next is the gandingan, a set of 4 large hanging gongs. Have you watched Showtime? Or even Itbulaga, they have a gongs, large gongs. Next is kulintang. It is also a gong, but composed on a row of small horizontally laid gongs. So there are 8 gongs. Then next is the gabong. It is a typical xylophone with 12 keys made of bamboo. Well, it's very creative, separated with metal nails. So just imagine the picture. And now let's talk about Muslim literature. So Garanjan, It is a popular epic sometimes called a story of Bandojan. It tells the adventure of the characters aboard swift boats in search of the rich, both young slave from far lands, and love and courtship and marriage vengeance. So, the Ranjan, as I have searched today, it is somehow a theater. Next is the Kampabani or Sukipia Warana Kulawani in their language. Or in English language, it is an abduction of Lawani. So it is about a prince searching for his princess. So it is a typical love story after then. So next is Agtubigno Kilabuklagan. So in English language, the kingdom of Tibuklagan. So it is about the adventure of a hero Taki. Of course, one of the themes of the epic is a human sacrifice, just like today. So for the Muslim songs, it is titled O Papanok and Bansamuro. So these two revolutionary songs from Cotabato that reveals the aspiration and perception of the native Mindanao people against the migrants. So next is Parang Sibil. So a ballad or narrative song about an outlaw or bandit, or literally the term means to fight in the path of God or Allah. It is just like a religious songs for them. In general, Muslim male art is predominantly curvilinear design, while a female art is largely geometric in form. Masculine decorative compositions are devised from few basic motifs like circle, bird, leaf, fern, and flower, while feminine is from include the circle or artificial moon, square, rectangle, diamond, and zigzag. And lastly, serpent and artificial cock are common animate representation they used, just like shown in the picture below.
Now, let's test your listening skills. It is a carved human figurine into which a certain class of Anito is said to incorporate itself when worshipped. A popular epic tells the adventure of the characters aboard swift boats in search of the rich Botian slaves far from lands and love, courtship, and marriage vengeance. And what kind of art they have in Cordillera? And what do you think makes Muslim arts unique? And what can you say about the arts of Cordillera region and Muslim South? And differentiate the two types of Cordillera arts. And why woodcraft is considered as the most popular craft art in Cordillera? And what can you describe our own Filipino instruments played especially in Cordillera region and southern region in Mindanao serve as our own identity of enriching our culture and tradition? For your activity, I will divide you into 4 groups. Each group will make their own artwork incorporates with the form and design of Cordillera and Muslim South. For the group 1, create your own design of textile, layout through drawing. Group 2, make their own design of sari manok. For group 3, make your own design of Afugao costume. And for the group 4, make your own interpretation of the song Bansamuro through drawing. This is the scoring rubrics. The criteria are attractiveness, time and effort, and cooperation. 5 points for attractiveness if the artwork shows that the creator took greatest pride in his or her works, and less points if it is not. Plus 5 points for time and effort if the class time was used wisely. Much time and effort went into planning and design of the artwork. Additional 5 points for cooperation if the students involved a full cooperation in planning and designing, and less points if it is not. It's time to test your knowledge. Activity 1 is a true or false. Write true if the statement is correct and false if it is not. And the second activity is essay. In 300 words, write your personal thoughts on how you can promote and preserve the arts in your locality. And for your assignment, make a research of the arts and crafts in the Pitan City. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.